everybody? Welcome to another Don't Revive Me Bro podcast. Today is March 25th, 12 p.m. Eastern. We are joined with the one, the only, Mr. Jeff Braddock. How are you, good sir?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Doing well?
Awesome. Doing good, man.
Ohika as my co-host today. When I drink enough, he'll end up taking over the flight for the rest of the duration, folks. Jeff, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Got a lot of irons in the fire right now, so it's nice to be able to take a step back, sit back, relax, chat with some friends, and talk about the things that we love, which are video games.
Video games, yeah. Well, being the North American community manager, you're pretty vocal about your job and things that you do. I think most people who follow Battlefield know who you are. But if you don't care, just to give us a rundown on a day in Jeff Braddock's life. What is it you do, sir?
Well, it's different every day, and that's one of the things I think I love about my job. Because at any moment, anything could happen with the game, and then I think that goes well with any game in the games industry, which to me, the people that work in the industry, you have to be a special breed. You have to be a little bit crazy. You have to be very flexible. On an average day, first thing I do, I wake up probably about 7:30 in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, and check the forums, see what's trending, see what's going on, see if anybody's tagged me in any threads, because they like to do that, and I like to see it because it helps direct me to go exactly where I need to go, rather than just cruising through the forums, which I do anyways. Even on my time off, I love the new forums mobile setup. That way you can just look anywhere, and it works well on the mobile. And I do that till about 8:30 or so. Then take a shower, get cleaned up, and head into the office on my motorcycle. Usually have a meeting starting around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we talk about Battlefield and the larger forum settings and things like that, and how we can improve. And then we have projects and events that we have to plan for. EA Play's coming up, and I really can't talk too much about our plans, but we're getting really excited about that. Last year was a lot of fun, so we want to do it. We want to do it bigger and better. And this year we're going to be in Hollywood, so which is cool because also during the day I try to take some time out to find an apartment or a house because I'm moving in 5 weeks.
Oh man!
And yeah,
and I don't have a place to live or anything. Yeah, no. It's bittersweet. I'll be honest. Like, I started with EA 6.5 years ago in Austin as a phone support rep, and this is my home. I grew up in Texas, south of Houston, and then moved to Austin 12 years ago, and I met my wife here. And so it's going to be a big change. I've lived overseas. I've lived in other states. This is the first time she's lived anywhere other than Seoul, Korea, or Austin. So it's going to be an exciting adventure for her, and I'm really happy. I mean, we love to travel, but traveling, you always go home. With a move like this, it's at least a year.
Right.
Hopefully you can make it through the lease.
So you're still looking for a place in LA?
Yeah, we've excuse me, we've identified a couple of really cool opportunities. Actually, it was weird. I went to this website and I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a 2-car garage, and I was like, holy crap! It's only like $2,500 a month, which is like $800 more than I'm paying for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with a single-car garage. So I'm like, but it's a house. And with my pup, I kind of want to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit of yard for him, even though that's a relative term compared to Texas yards in LA. A Texas yard is 2.5 acres, and you don't see your neighbor. An LA yard is you open the door and you're touching doors.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's gonna be fun. It's an adventure. We're young. We don't have kids. We're gonna have a blast.
Good for you. At least you're going into it with an open mind and being optimistic about it.
Absolutely.
I know that'll be a huge
Life's a garden,
change.
man. You gotta dig it.
Well, definitely, like
Yeah, that's
when
right.
the one time that I got to be in LA, it was definitely full of people. There's a lot of people, and they're all walks of life. That's
Oh, yeah.
for sure. It's packed.
It's
So,
insane. Yeah.
I did see actually. It actually had a label on it that said the world's smallest yard, and it was because they were like on the ocean side. So the yard was like 6 inches. Had a little waterfall thing, and it said the world's smallest yard on it. I was like, yeah, at least they know what they're where they're at.
They have no illusions about the tininess of their yards. It's fine.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So, as you said earlier with your introduction to being community manager and stuff, you said you started out as a phone rep.
Yes, sir.
How was that journey? You get on as a phone rep, and then what happens? Where you go? What do you do?
That was kind of insane. So I actually wow. So I bartended and waited tables. I'll TLDR. I'll just hit the highlights. I bartended and waited tables for about 13 years, which is why I really love to interact with people. When you're waiting tables and bartending, they're coming in to buy something. You don't have to sell anything.
Right.
It's about selling yourself and talking and being able to interact. And I think that's what's really helped me with my career path and my advancement within EA. But I got tired of the late nights, the no life. I mean, and I'm not hating on it. It's an honorable industry. It's great for people, and you can make some good money. But after doing it for 13 years, I wanted to change. I wanted to be able to go to sleep at night before 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. and you know what I'm talking about, and not have to wake up at noon because I need sleep. So I started working at a hotel in Austin for a little while, and while I was there, I was like, I'm looking for something else because I felt like I was spinning my wheels. There wasn't going to be any growth or advancement there, and it was covering my bills, and I was still able to have a good time. But I answered an ad in looking for a support rep for a different company who I will not name, and went through the processes and almost got the job, and then didn't get the job. And I was like, all right. And I found an ad on Craigslist, of all places. And the ad literally said, "Do you like EA Sports?" Well, hell yeah, man. Madden? I used to play the crap out of Madden, dude. I actually have every Madden since the original John Madden football. Still, because I'm a collector. And I was like, because it's in the game, bro. I can totally do some Madden.
It's in the game.
So I went in and interviewed, and my technical skills, since I was 12, I've been building PCs and things, and I've been gaming since I could hold a television controller when I was 4. So I got the job like in one day. They were like, "Wow, okay, come on in," and it was phone support. It was right after Bad Company 2 had launched Onslaught, the add-on, and they saw my proficiency for first-person shooters and PC technical support. So I got hired October 6th, wow, it's going to be 2010, and by March, they were like, well, we want to move you up into escalated support. You do well with customers. You've got a quick handle time, because I mean that is important. You don't want to be sitting there chatting with everybody, talking about your life story all day, because there's a lot of people that may need some help, and you want to get to as many people and successfully resolve them as quickly as possible, while remaining kind and professional. And that's always been I always try to do that in every interaction with our gamers, our communities, or just people in general. I just try to be efficient, quick, and professional and kind. And so we did a chat program. EA Chat has, EA Help has that chat program, but we pioneered escalated chat. So the first tier guys, they can do a lot of stuff, but when it gets into like the real deep dives, talking about changing registry entries to fix things, I got to pilot that as a team lead, and within 2 months, they felt they wanted to move me on to forum administration, and I actually was going. It's interesting. I was going to San Francisco with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and that was the first time I got to go to EA Redwood. The headquarters was right before I became a forum admin, and from there, just a lot of crazy hard work, a lot of changes within the organization. You know, we got our new CPO a few years ago, Andrew Wilson, who's very much dedicated to our player first initiative, making sure that we put our gamers at first, listening to them, playing with them, being part of the community. And that was something when I was EA Agent X on Battlelog, I really wanted to do. And so then 2 years ago, this coming November, I had been working on a project of social response and support on Battlefield, Titanfall, EA, a bunch of social channels. Basically, if it was a message to everybody, that was our content team. If it was a response, it was my team. And I was still working on Battlelog or the Battlefield forums and things like that. It was a lot of fun, a lot of busyness. And November 17th, 2015, if anybody remembers that date, that's when Battlefront launched. I was brought in as a community manager, and interestingly enough, Battlefront community manager had his baby literally like the day before that. So my first launch was actually Battlefront. I was still working on Battlefield, but you know, we all try to help each other out where we have to and where we can. And so I got to help launch Battlefront, which was an amazing thing, and which is one of the reasons I have a big Battlefront tattoo. Since then it's been learning from one of the best guys in community management, Dan Mitri, and also Matt Everett, who is Titanfall and Star Wars, and traveling a lot, interacting with our community, our influencers, our creators, our game changers, working with the devs, and always trying to push the best situation forward. I tell Dan often when we have a lot of chats, but I'm like, you know, I feel like I want to be their champion for the community. As far as, you know, one of my favorite movies, real quick, is Tron, and I loved the reboot or the sequel, and a lot of people didn't, but that's okay. They're wrong. If it's got Jeff Bridges in it, it's gold. I don't care. But at the end of the second movie, when Rensler or Tron remembers who he is and he says he fights for the user, that's how I feel every day. I want to fight for the gamers. I want to fight for my communities, and not fight my coworkers or fight processes, but always be that person standing up for the community and saying, hey, this is what they're talking about, this is what they need, this is what we need to do for them, and help them out as much as I can.
That's a hell of a climb, man. Mr. Phone Rip to travel in the world.
I know. Every time I come back from Stockholm or Gamescom or E3 or EA Play, I look at my wife and I was like, seriously, the dude whose life I stole has got to be pissed.
Right?
He's got.
You know, the whole time he's telling the story about the phone rip, I'm just picturing the old Discover card commercial where he's like, "Hello, my name is Peggy." You know what I'm talking about?
Thank you for contacting Electronic Arts. My name is Jeff. May I please have your email address to reference your account? All right. So what's going on with the Sims?
Done that a few times. Yeah. Done that once or twice.
Babies in Sims 3 are on fire. What mods have you put on?
Right.
I have to uninstall all the mods before I can actually work on this, because there's not really, you know, that's not something I know what's going on with those.
Well,
I had some great calls. If I could tell you one, it'd be great.
Oh, absolutely. Go
Sure.
for it. Yeah, please.
I won't give names or anything, but there was a time when we had a game. It was called Play 2 Ways or Play 3 Ways. It was The Sims, actually. And the young lady who had called in was having a problem running it on her Mac. And it worked on Macs. But she had, as we got into the conversation, she told me, she's like, you know, I don't understand why this doesn't work. Playing on my 360. Pump the brakes for a second. Take the disc out of your The What does it say? It says The Sims 3, Xbox 360. Okay.
Wow.
And in my head, I'm like, you are literally And this is when Steve Jobs was alive. You're literally trying to have Steve Jobs and Bill Gates fight inside of your house right now. I didn't tell her that, of course. I was like, well, ma'am, this happens all the time, and I totally understand. But you're gonna have to actually use your PC Mac disk. And she's like, oh my gosh. And I mean, she's a super pleasant person, but it was you get to hear a lot of fun things, and it's a good time. It's a good time.
Work fine on the Xbox. Why won't it work in the Mac? Well, you had mentioned to us earlier about it. The big achievement from all your traveling and stuff. How many miles did you put in the air last year?
So I have traveled a lot with my wife, and I always try to use, I always try to get my frequent flyer miles or whatever. I have become a big fan of United, and I know not everybody is, but I like United because I get a crap ton of miles. Last year, starting with my first trip to Stockholm, which was in February, right before Battlefield reveal, and we were talking about the game, to my last trip, which was in December of last year. I think December? Yeah. It may have been Stockholm in November. Anyways, my last trip, I put about 120,000 miles in the air.
Wow.
So I went from bronze, which is, welcome to flying in the air like weirdness, to
League.
platinum. Yeah, to platinum, which is kind of cool because if it's domestic, sometimes I get that first class upgrade. Which, if you look at me in an airport, I don't look like I deserve a first class upgrade. I look like I belong to sit in the cargo because I'm wearing. I obviously always wear Battlefield T-shirts, but I've got a duffel bag full of my goods and my backpack, and sometimes I've got a hat on. Sometimes I've just got my hair disheveled because it's 6 a.m. because I'm an idiot and take flights really early because I like to start the day. And then I just go right through TSA pre-check, and people in suits who are flying out for the day, go into their whatever. They're looking at me, and then I get my name called, and they're like, Jeff Braddock, your first class upgrade's available. And I'm like, this is gonna be awesome.
Like this.
That TSA pre-check is nice.
Oh man, I'm an idiot though. I'm an idiot. I didn't get it until almost all my trips were done last year. But luckily we're in a new year, so there's gonna be more trips.
Nice. Well, you talked about the trip to LA. You've talked about your traveling trips. What about some of those tattoos? How do you end up with some of those? People were asking me about your tat stories.
Okay, so I have 4 EA style tattoos. One is the EA logo, one's Titanfall, one is Boba Fett and Slave One from Battlefront, and one is the Battlefield logo. The EA tattoo I got March 9th, 2015. The night before Titanfall launched. And I got the EA tattoo, which, by the way, there you go. I got the EA tattoo because I've been playing EA games for 30 years. I still
can't ever switch companies. You know that, right? Like, you can't go and put the other guy on the other arm.
I don't really intend on it. As someone who has tattoos and things like that it's not about the just now. It's about it means something. And for me, it was playing EA games when I was 9 years old, 8 years old, playing Skate or Die. I still have a sealed copy of Skate or Die that I've had for 15 years.
I remember playing the shit out of that.
It was a great game.
I used to play the hell out of it. This was my again, I'm gonna reference Tron Legacy when he's like, I dreamt of a world I thought I'd never see, and then one day I got in, and that's how I felt when I started working at EA. I wanted to be in the games industry. I wanted to be a programmer, but I'm terrible at math. But I could talk my ass off. So I think I landed pretty well. But I told my girlfriend, well, she was my fiance at the time. I was like, I want to get an EA tattoo, and she's like, really? I was like, yeah. And I explained everything. She goes, okay, just think about it for a couple months. And so I thought about it. And then Sunday, March 9th, we went to True Blue Tattoo in Austin, Texas, and I talked to this guy named Dave, and super awesome guy.
He threw the ink on, and funny story, Mr. Peter Moore, who is moving on to be the CEO of Liverpool Football Club.
I
Oh,
saw
wow.
that.
I'm
That's
so
crazy.
excited for him. I mean, that's a dream job for him, right? But 'cause that's his favorite football club. But I'm sitting in the tattoo chair, and I have a different video game than we publish or even make T-shirt on because it came free with with the pre-order or whatever. And I tweeted out, and my ink is fresh. It's a little raised, a little red. And he's like, "That's a great tattoo, but you may want to Photoshop something on that shirt." So as we get up, I pay the tattoo artist, and my wife looks at me and she's like, "So you said you were gonna get a Titanfall tattoo?" I was like, "Yeah," because I was working on Titanfall social channels and stuff. And the next day, we were doing the world premiere launch with Microsoft, Larry Herb, Vince Appella here in Austin, Texas, which was super cool. And I got invited to go to participate in that. And so me and a few guys who worked in support at the EA office were riding down together, and it happened to be literally right across the street from my tattoo shop. So I was like, "We're 30 minutes early. I'm gone." And
Destiny.
I ran across the street. I was like, "Nate." His name wasn't Dave. It was Nate. I was like, "Nate, I need that. I need this Titanfall A." And I had it. I had it on my phone. I emailed it to him, and it's that one.
Thanks.
And he got it done like 15 minutes. And because I didn't want to walk around with saran wrap all over my arm, at an event, he already he slapped it as you do, just to shock the skin. Anybody who punches your tattoos is a jerk, but a tattoo artist who slaps it with witch hazel because it prevents it from bleeding. It starts the clotting quickly, and because I also don't want to walk around with blood dripping everywhere, right? And so I walked in and I got to meet Vince, and he super nice guy, and he was excited, and he was like, "I heard about your tattoo." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me see it." And so I showed him my EA one. He goes, "Let me see the other one as well." And I showed him the Titanfall one. And that night I was wearing a Titanfall shirt, and I had my EA, my Titanfall tattoo. I'm standing in front of Jack, which is the half Titan that we have at events. And I tweeted that picture out. I was like, "Is this better, Peter?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's acceptable." Um, no quarter for me. So then, we're getting ready to launch Battlefront. Fast forward a couple of years, getting ready to launch Battlefront. I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. Yeah, just bounty hunters are cool. And Boba Fett, he's got a great backstory. He survived the Sarlacc twice. I don't care if it's canon anymore. It's in a book, so I read it and it happened. Um, and he had a decent code, like he wouldn't kill women and children and things like that. So he was a true bounty hunter. He wasn't just a lackey for the Empire, despite the few minutes in the original trilogy that don't really go into his story. But we had some really good images from Battlefront and for Boba Fett and for Slave One and his ship. And so I got them and I collated them and made this cool like image. And yes, I have. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I have the Jedi Handbook, the Book of the Sith, and the Bounty Hunter Code Book. I'm a nerd. And I'm okay with that. But so I got the guy, and it's still a work in progress because it's a big piece. But this is my
Yeah, I've not got to see the finished version of that.
Oh, nice.
Those look pretty
Nice.
dope.
Yeah,
You
man.
got the tweet an updated picture of that, man.
I've got a
I've not seen the full version. That's the first time I've seen the full. I saw it when you had it like outlined, but that was it.
Yeah, he's done some coloring. I've got a bit more, probably about 4 more hours for it to really finally be finished. But I'm looking forward to that. And then finally, and this is a fun story. This is all those stories were fun, but this one is really cool. So I'm going to I went to Stockholm in September of last year to get ready for the Death Star DLC release for Battlefront, and super excited. I was producing the live stream, so I had to set everything up in the studio. And so I went to lunch the next day, and there's this little awesome Indian food called Shanti right next door, and I'm eating some delicious Indian food, and I look over literally to my right, and like a 5-second walk across the street is a place called Nice Tattoo. And I'm totally not trying to plug these, like all these people that I mentioned, but tattoos are. So I I walk in, and this dude is like Hodor, giant. Like, and I'm a hobbit, so I mean, everybody's tall to me. But this dude, like, really, really big. He could have carried Bran and like three other Stark children on his back and still been able to fight off like an ice giant or whatever. Um, my,
Odor.
my nerdery knows no bounds. So I'm like, hey, and he's super, super genuine, super nice Swedish dude. And I was like, I want to get a Battlefield tattoo. And he's like, and he leans his giant self over the counter. He goes, really? And I was like,
He thought you were do a back piece of the cover art, you know?
I'm
Yes.
like looking for the door. I'm like, how quickly can I move? Where's my ring of power so I can disappear? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I want to get the Battlefield logo on my arm. And he goes, I would very much love to do that. Like, really intense. And I'm like,
Count Dracula.
yeah. I'm like, why? And I just had to ask him, why? And he's like, well, I actually worked on Battlefield 1942. I was
Oh, shit.
I was like, no, exactly. I was
That's
like,
a small world. That's a small world.
And he does yeah, exactly, Dakota. But yeah, he's like, I also do a lot of the devs tattoos over at Dice. I said, so what happened? He goes, he's like, I kind of wanted to do my own thing. And I was like, I can't hate that. You got to respect that. He got it done in about 45 minutes, and my Battlefield tattoo.
Battlefield for life now.
Yep. Been playing it for 11 years. Playing dice games for 25 years. Don't anticipate stopping anytime soon. And this sleeve is going to be my battle sleeve. I'm going to get a whole bunch of stuff. I want to get stuff from iconic images from all of the games, high res, of course, and then just keep going, ink it up, ride motorcycles, drink whiskey, do what I do.
So how's the new motorcycle hobby taken? How are you enjoying that?
Oh man, I love the hell out of it. It's a lot of fun. I when I have a stressful day, because we all have them, they all hit us. When I have a stressful day, I get home from work, jump on the bike, and I go for 30-minute, hour ride. And to be fair, my bike's not big. It's not a Harley or anything yet. I'm actually in talks. I'm talking with a Harley dealership. Actually, I talked to him yesterday. I go in next week for a test ride of a 2017 Harley Davidson Softail Slim S. It looks like Captain America's motorcycle from.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
nice.
It's got
moving
that,
up.
Green gold satin with a big ass white star on the side on each side of the tank, and it looks sick. So if you get a chance to look it up, it's a gorgeous motorcycle. But right now I've got a Cleveland Cycleworks Ace Deluxe, a little 250cc. It's a little scrambler, gets me around town. But she's fun to ride, and she's bright orange, white, and black, which are, interestingly enough, the colors for Origin, Battlefield, and Titanfall. So I'm like kind of branded everywhere I go. And it's a unique looking motorcycle. It looks like a 1960s cafe racer. So
I gotta believe you can get some nice rides outside of LA when you move out there. Like just getting out into the countryside out that way.
Oh man. Actually, Dan and I actually have a camping trip. My first weekend because I should be moved by no later than May 15th, but June 3rd we're going on a camping trip on our motorcycles. So
nice.
I'm super excited, and no matter where I live in LA, traffic's gonna be terrible, but it's always a little bit better when you're on a motorcycle.
Correct.
Indeed. Does the wife enjoy the motorcycle hobby?
Absolutely not.
See, every time I look at one, my always like, don't even think about it. No.
Oh yeah, that's my wife.
No. Yeah. Every time I'm like, damn, look at that, check out that bike. No, you're not getting on one.
Yeah, there's a Harley dealer on the way to my office, and every day I'm just like, man, I kind of want to swing in there, just see what it's all, what I can get into.
You can get into a lot of trouble, bro.
Yeah, especially with the missus.
So
she don't want me looking at them.
Yeah, the Harley or the motorcycle story is funny. So there was a coworker who was selling a scooter, and scooters are motorcycles. I don't care, and it's interesting. Within the motorcycle world, nobody really cares what you ride as long as it has two wheels and the rubber down, shiny up. That's all that matters. And I told you, Deity. I told you that bike is gorgeous. But It's super gorgeous, guys. But she's gonna sell me her scooter, 170 cc, so I can hit 60, 70 miles an hour, get to work back. That's all I really wanted it for. And then as time came up, and it took a while to get Jane on board with that. But when time came up for it to happen, the colleague was like, "Well, I've got to change out the fuel lines because it's sat for a year. It's only got 500 miles on it, but I'm gonna have to do all of this work, so it's gonna be about a month and a half." And I'm like, I don't want to wait because I knew what was gonna happen. Like I was starting to do all the traveling last summer, and I wanted to get the bike during the summer so I could at least ride when I get home from my trips. So I was like, all right, fine. Went to this place called Motorangutan, which it's motorcycles and orangutans. I don't understand what that breed is, but I love it. And it's a nice little shop, beautiful bikes in there. And I had been looking up, certain engine sizes because I know you don't want to bite off more than you could chew starting off. Because if I was to get a big bike starting and I wasn't comfortable with riding because I just gotten my license and all that, and I dump it, which everyone who rides, there's two riders, those who haven't fallen and those who will fall.
Right.
Those who have fallen and those who haven't fallen yet. That's it. Everybody's gonna fall on their bike. It happens. It sucks, and you just pick yourself up and you get back on. So, but I didn't want to do that with a nice big bike.
Unless you break bones.
Unless you break bones. and then you ride in the sidecar.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So we went down there, and I had the cash, and because I always like to be prepared. I was a Boy Scout, and she didn't know this. And we saw this bike, and we saw a black version of it, and it's gorgeous. So, it looks very sleek. But I'm like, man, Austin drivers aren't very smart sometimes. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I don't want a black motorcycle when riding at night. I want my thing to just stand out. First off, I want it to look cool, but I also want it to catch the eye so that they could see me. And right next to it was this bright-ass orange, white, and black one. And it's got like a little bit of a checker patina on the tank. And I was like, dude, can I test drive this? And he's like, yeah. So I jump on. He gives me a helmet. I ride around the parking lot, take it up and down the street. I'm like, how much? And she looks at me, and Jane looks at me. She's like, wait. He's like, well, MSRP is $32.95. I was like, okay. And what kind of deal am I going to get on gear, like a helmet and a jacket? And because I want to be safe. And he's like, well, I can give you this deal, and we can talk about this. I was like, cool. You guys take credit cards or cash? And she's like, oh my God. And so
Put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So I got it that day. And then as I've been riding it, I've realized I want a bigger bike. I want something with a little beefier, something a little bit heavier. And yet I don't want something monstrous. And I also don't want a crotch rocket. I don't want to lay down on a tank. I want to be able to sit and just ride and enjoy the ride. So when I saw the Softail, I was like, oh, so pretty. And she's like, fine. Like, I mean, she's not happy. Let's be honest. She's not happy because motorcycle riding is dangerous, especially. And it's not the rider generally. It's generally the people around them that don't pay attention. But she's on board because she understands that I'm really safe. So yeah, I'm trying to get that done before I move to expensive LA. That way I don't have to pay all the crazy taxes there. I could just get it here and have it registered.
Just watch out for all the crazy drivers out there.
Oh, dude, they're doing 2 miles an hour. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a parking lot in LA.
Yeah,
405
right.
and the 101, which is near Hollywood, which is where I'm looking to move. Yeah, it's gonna be crawling. It's fine.
Right.
I'll be able to get off and walk my bike.
Yeah, well, maybe just go in between a few of them.
Yeah. I saw that. Oh my God! One of my first trips to LA, I saw somebody splitting the lanes, and they were gone. And I promised myself I'll never split lanes because not that I'm scared or whatever. I don't know what the person is thinking, and maybe they throw out a cigarette or they got their arm out, and I get clotheslined off my bike, and my bike keeps going, and I'm sitting there going, "Somebody catch it!"
Yeah. Especially in traffic like that. I don't know. I've seen some videos where you just have people that intentionally try to mess with riders, either edging them off the road or wedging them in between other cars and whatnot. So yeah, that would be scary.
So my motorcycle style. I live in Central Florida, which if you've never been to Central Florida, it's God's waiting room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's It's all retirees, and so you'll see 60, 70-year-old men out riding motorcycles.
It's kind of cool.
Which is the problem is their reaction times aren't really good, and so you really have to give these guys extra space just simply because they're medicated. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Most of these people down here, they're
Cruising
medicated.
and medicated.
You know, the whole don't operate a motor vehicle while you're on this medicine. A 70-year-old's typically on a lot of medicine. And we have a lot of incidents down here where a guy will pull out in traffic, like just pull out in traffic. And when you talk to him, I mean, we have them where they pull out on golf carts. Like, you have people getting pulled over in Central Florida on golf carts for DUIs. So the whole motorcycle conversation is interesting because I see a lot of it around here that is driver related of the motorcycle, but it has to do with the age group, I think, less than actual motorcycles in general.
I think so as well. I think, Dan and I, okay, so we were at South by Southwest Gaming recently to do some panels and to go to the gaming awards, which Battlefield won. Congratulations, Dice.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Yeah. Excellence in sound effects and excellence in technical innovation. I was really excited to be able to accept the award for Dice and EA. It was amazing. Like, looking out of the crowd and seeing all these people cheering for Battlefield, it's furthered my resolve. But we that night we went to an after party and we were having some drinks and stuff. And I'm walking back to his hotel because I'm going to take a car back to my apartment. And we see all these bikes on 6th Street and in Austin and 5th Street and stuff. And it's late. It's like 2 a.m. So they're drunk. And I'm like, dude, I would never, ever get on a bike. First off, I don't like drunk driving.
No.
We've all made that error in judgment. And luckily, most of us have gotten home. I am not condoning this. Anyone. That's terrible to do. Get a cab. Get an Uber, get a Fastly, get a Lyft, whatever. Whatever you can. Walk if you have to.
Yeah.
But
roll, lay down, crawl, whatever you gotta do.
sleep there. Wherever you're at, just lay there.
Yeah.
And when in my much younger days, I did that, and it was fine. The next morning, I woke up and look, there's a taco stand right beside me. Awesome. I don't even remember going to Dallas last night. That's awesome. But I was like, dude, I would never go to a bar on my bike ever. If I'm gonna go to a bar, because I like to drink and I like to eat and chill, I'm gonna take a car. And I like take a car, like not drive it. I will take a car. And we actually saw a young lady come out in all her leathers. Her bike was gorgeous. It was a Harley Davidson 84. Gorgeous bike. Sounded great. She dumped it as soon as she got on it. And then my car was there, so I had to jump, right? So story is she dumped it again. Like people helped her up, and they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I told Dan, I was like, "I think she's drunk, dude." My bartender senses kicked in, and he was like, "All right, well, I don't want anything bad to happen to any rider. That's just how we are." It's a good community. And as she's trying to peel out again, not fast, just try to roll. Her equilibrium is all gone. So she fell again. He picks the bike up, rolls it to the sidewalk, says, "Hey, you're not riding." Helps her get it to her job, and made sure she got a ride home. Because, well, that's death right there. There's nothing else. You're gonna hurt yourself or somebody.
There was a splat coming.
Mm-hmm.
She just woke up with regret instead of not waking up at all.
Exactly. It's like, where the hell is my bike?
What happened to it? Who knocked over my bike? Well, with that said, we've talked about your tattoos. We've talked about your bikes. We've talked about your move to LA. Now tell us what some of these people are hamming about in the chat. Battlefield. You've got Battlefield 1. How was that with the launch? I know you've been busy. We've actually been trying to plan this podcast since like the reveal for about 6 months, give or take.
Oh,
you're flying all over the world.
Here.
Well, yeah, for the real, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm bad at time. It's been a while. We've been trying to do this for a while, but you've been flying all over the place doing that. We even talked about your air miles. Now with Battlefield 1 being out, you guys' first DLC just came out. Tell us about that. Just about what you're doing on a daily basis in regards to, as a community manager, what do you have to do for a DLC launch? You're really vocal and you're always hyping things up, and you playing all the platforms, and you just started streaming. Next, you'll be a big streamer with 100,000 subs, and you're gonna go over to YouTube, and you're gonna blow that platform up. What's next for Jeff Braddock and Battlefield? You can
So,
mix those up.
all right. Launching a game like this, and my part is just one of the many things that make a successful launch, make a game launch. Good, bad, or ugly. There's so many moving parts, and so this was my first Battlefield launch as a community manager. I've been through. This is my fourth Battlefield launch with EA, but this is my first Battlefield launch as a community manager. And one thing that a lot of people, I'm going to dispel a rumor right now, a myth. Community managers do not sit on forums all day long. They also do not tweet from the corporate account all day long. That is not what if that's what a community manager is doing, they're more of a communications person rather than a community manager. Because community managers, with what I do, and with Dan and the other cats at EA who are in the community manager position, it's a lot of meetings, it's a lot of chats with devs, it's a lot of triaging issues, getting to the core, working with QA, reading a crap ton of emails every single day because I want to be in the know. I want to be the most informed person about Battlefield that isn't a developer. I want in EA. That is my goal, to know more about Battlefield than maybe even the developers, which I know that's going to be impossible. But if I'm at all their meetings, if I'm talking to them all the time, I could be the most informed. So, that launch was insane. It was a huge launch, and we had a lot of steam behind it with, the most liked, most watched video game YouTube trailer ever. Awesome. And that was insane. And then when he did the reveal on Twitch in May 6th last year, we broke records on Twitch, and that was insane. I had one of the guys who worked at Twitch for he's no longer with them, but we were sitting there, we just kept looking at each other with big eyes going, what? I mean, Lana, you were there.
Yes.
And so are you. Weren't you there, Bo?
Yeah,
Oh,
we were all three. Yeah,
We
we
were
were
all
all
there.
three
You were
there.
there. Yeah, so y'all remember when we were sitting at the table going, oh my God, 700,000 people. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was nice seeing it in the theater, and then when we come out, it was like watching the response on Twitch. It was crazy.
It was insane. So, but with
Still salty I didn't get my reveal dog tag. Just saying.
I'll let your boy.
I don't think I didn't get mine either.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Community.
Pun, Lano, I got you. I don't know about you, Bo.
I hear that a lot.
Don't know about you, Bo.
So, but yeah, with They Shall Not Pass, obviously, the French Army is one of the most requested armies for Battlefield 1 by the community when we launched, and it was a big labor of love with the dev team, because I mean, they wanted to do it right. If you don't know a lot of history about the French Army, that was their battle cry, is "They shall not pass, ils ne passeront pas," and it's amazing to read about these soldiers who were fighting for their homeland from the invaders who didn't care about anything but continuing on their conquest. Really, really, really interesting. And I'm a big World War I fan because, and that's a weird thing to say, I'm a fan of World War, but I'm a historian as far as that goes, because World War I was the beginning of the arms race as we know it. Like previous inter-country or internal conflicts were very, very visceral, very brutal, very in your face, or they had long muskets, and you just stood there in a line, like I don't. If I could go back in time, I'd talk to the British and
You're
American.
like, what the hell are you thinking?
Move.
Yeah, hide
Bullets are
behind
flying at
something.
you.
Hide behind something.
Get a door from the house that's burning and just hide behind it. So,
Yeah.
but with World War I mean, they had these new weapons, the new machine guns, submachine guns, assault rifles, but they also had like their shovels that were sharpened, and they would sharpen their shovels to get in that melee combat. And then we have these in Battlefield, the elite classes. These are real things: flame troopers, heavy machine gunners. The trench raider, I think, is one of the coolest elite classes because he's just I like melee kills in Battlefield, so having a giant beating stick and being really tough, that's fun.
I was on the receiving end of that last night a lot.
Yeah, I got hit by one of myself.
It's scary as crap because you're like, oh, this dude's just got his oh no, and you can't get away from it.
Just drop a grenade at your feet and hope for the best.
When I swung at him with my knife and it went dink, that's when I was worried. Oh crap!
I drop incendiaries and we both go toasty. But getting ready for the launch of this expansion was a lot, just like the game, a lot of moving parts, a lot of conference calls, a lot of chats, and it was awesome because everybody was really passionate about getting this expansion out and getting it out and getting it right. Getting the maps to where they really represent these iconic, beautiful places in the French countryside. And Verdun is, everybody knows about Verdun in World War I. It was the site of one of the biggest battles involving the French. And then the technology that we added to the game, like the Saint-Chamond tank.
He said tank with
I
French
know,
accent.
right?
It's a tank.
I'm drinking iced tea, not coffee. So I'm still a little bit. But yeah, the Saint-Chamond, really cool. I mean, I love playing in the Saint-Chamond because of the fact that you can call out a pigeon. You can drop a pigeon out. He'll call in an aerial strike all around you. So I'll just drive up into the middle of a flag, and I'm like, and it's over. Everybody stay inside. All right, now get out and kill everyone. And then the Char 2C. I really did a lot of research on the Char 2C once I heard about it, and it's a really, really interesting piece of war machinery. It actually didn't come onto the battlefield until 1921. It was developed in 1916, 1917, test runs during 1918, and it was one of the largest tanks in the world. It was insane, and that's why it is a behemoth in Battlefield, because it's so big. It's such a monster. And I will tell you, pro tip, and I'm sorry I laughed at that because it's pro tip, but pro tip, don't try to put dynamite on the Char 2C. They will shoot you every single time. I went 12 and 30 in one match just because I wanted to dynamite it, and it didn't work. I get close, and two cannons would just swing towards me, and I'm like, okay. All right, guys, you got me again. And then I spawn right next to it, and I'd be like, all right, let's try. Oh, still okay. You're still paying attention, fan. Fine.
You got me.
But we had giveaways, and that's a lot of fun. Getting the community excited, sharing information. First as a trickle, then as a stream, and then as a waterfall of information. To build excitement, but also to to keep ourselves excited. I was talking to my wife. I've talked to her about this a lot. I was like, I love my job. I love working in the games industry. There's just one thing that sucks. I know way too much, so I don't get spoilers. Doesn't even exist to me. Everything is spoiled for me. Everything. So
you don't get any surprises.
Yeah, there's no surprises, which is fine because it's also really, really cool. Because I get to know things, but I also know things like months ahead of time. I'm like, I want to talk. I can't go on the internet today. I'm Twitter hands be good. And so, because at the end of the day, I do care about my NDAs and I do care about my job, and I want to keep it because I want to continue learning new cool things and working with this awesome, passionate Battlefield community. So, but yeah, we've got some more things coming. It's gonna get real interesting. You know, we just announced Battlefest.
Right? Yeah.
And that's gonna be a lot of fun. Real cool things coming in Battlefest.
You tell
very-
us, we promise we won't tell anybody else.
Yeah, sure.
Just if you tell us, nothing else, it won't go from here.
Can you go into detail with Battlefest? I mean, what is Battlefest? Just for people that may not know about it.
Battlefest is basically a celebration of Battlefield, for the community, where we, and I don't know how much details we've gone into yet. I'm looking on the Twitter because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm like, come on, Battlefield, what are you saying today? But it generally, oh yeah, we haven't talked about anything. So it just says Battlefest is coming. Are you ready? Haha. So, so Battlefest, the first Battlefest for Battlefield 1. We'll talk about that because that was good. You know, we dropped new revisions. You get new guns. We added the Fog of War game mode, which I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. Now, if we had Fog of War on Verdun Heights, oh shit, that is World War I trench warfare with fog. That'd be great. And then there's special dog tags in the original one, but it's not just about Battlefield 1. Usually, we did Battlefest missions for Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline. I know you guys are Hardline fans. So it's basically our way of celebrating the game, celebrating the community, and getting people to play the game and having fun and doing what we love, which is PTFO, because if you do anything else, you're terrible.
Indeed.
True story. But
absolute true story.
That needs a Braddock thug life with the glasses and the freeze.
If you do anything else, you're wrong.
Correct.
Deal with it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming.
Somebody get on that, please. We need that. The glasses to deal with it meme, please. Thank you. Sorry,
But,
somebody will take care of that. I hope.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for this year. Just seeing some of the things that we've got planned, some of the things that we'd like to do. It's going to be exciting. It's a new world, and it's going to be good for the gamers. It's going to be good for the game. It's going to be great for the community. Just need a little bit of time to finalize things, polish some things, and get it out there. And as always, I always want feedback. My Twitter is not always the best place for feedback because sometimes it flies by. But if you post on the forums and tag me, I promise you I'm reading that post. I want the Battlefield community at large to know that I really care about the posts. You know, being constructive is critical. Because I mean, I can gripe about stuff all day long, but if I don't offer solutions or explain myself clearly, and I'm just there to be negative, it doesn't help anybody really. And I'm not saying don't be negative. I mean, you can be constructive and negative, but if you're just going to be negative with no context added benefit, it doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't get your point across. And people just look at you and with weird eyes. They're like,
I need to be a douche.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that, but be friendly.
We can say it.
We will.
You can say things.
Now,
hashtag true story.
Now, one thing that really stood out for me on the new DLC, first off, I really love Frontlines. Great mode.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Frontline's
Really
awesome.
intense. I love the back and forth tug of war. I had a match. I ended up, honestly, I didn't get around to the DLC yet, and I updated. I got on the patch. I was reading the patch notes. Wanted to try out Frontlines, which I did. I ended up in a match till 6:30 a.m. today. But it was fun. We won. It was on the Fort map.
Fort DeVoe, yeah.
Yeah, it was just forth. We would catch B, then push towards C, then they would get it back, and it was back and forth, back and forth. Ended up winning, which was fantastic. But one thing that I've not really seen anybody mention about the patch that really stood out to me was the footsteps. I can really hear enemy footsteps over my friendly footsteps to where it doesn't all just sound like a bunch of footstep clutter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was able to pinpoint and tell a lot more distinctly where an enemy was, whether they're running through the alley outside the building next to me. That was a huge thing, and I know that's something that's talked about a lot within the forums and other people talking about footsteps, and something the devs worked on, obviously fixed or improved. So things in regards to that, what else? What's at the forefront for you? You say you keep up with all the forums. I know you do, but with the forums, what's something else that you think you would like to see maybe added, improved, done to the game?
Well, I know. Uh, I can honestly say this because it's been stated to the by the dev. They are aware of the timer issue in front lines. Now, I say issue because I like 90-minute matches. I think that to me that goes back to Battlefield 3 or Old Bad Company 2 with 2,000 tickets, no timer, just keep playing. And I remember having hour and a half matches back then. Um, it was good times, but not everybody can do that. And let's be honest, getting one match in 90 minutes, if you're a streamer, if you're a content creator, if you're trying to go competitive or whatever, it doesn't work. And Frontlines, so the devs are aware of that, and they're investigating options and things on how to fix that. I personally, and this is just me, I would like, I like more battle packs, honestly. Especially kids since they don't give weapons. I love that. I love that you can't buy battle packs to get weapons. I love you can't buy weapons. I love that about Battlefield. I mean, you unlock them, but you can buy skins, and skins do not change anything. They just make you look cool, or not. I mean, if you're walking around in the middle of a flaming map, Verdun Heights, with all white guns, you're kind of sticking out like a sore thumb at a finger convention. So, but yeah, I love the fact that there's lots of cool skins and they can really give you some personality to your weapons. I would like, for me, just because I'm not at the top of the leaderboards, so I'd like the battle pack drops to be a little bit less random for Braddock 512. Everyone else can do their own thing. If you like it, that's great. But I would like less randomness for Jeff.
It's funny. Last night we were playing, and I had 4 straight matches where I got a battle pack, and somebody before me had been playing and hadn't gotten one all night. And so he was just like, "Man, that's crazy." But yeah, I had 4 straight matches with drops last night.
See, and I think the thing that that can be frustrating about that is you don't know what's going to make them drop,
Right.
It's like, okay, so I had a match last night, 55 resupplies, and I was only in the match for 20 minutes. Because ammo is what makes guns shoot. So, right. I don't know. I mean, you could try packing rocks in there. It doesn't work. Some salt shots. But I didn't get a battle pack. The next match, I got, I think, 22 revives, but I got a lot of squad, not 22 revives, 22 resupplies, but all of them were squads, and I got a battle pack. And I'm like, what? Right. I don't understand. And I think that's for the most part the way the community feels. They don't understand the logic behind it. If we had the logic behind it, it'd be like, oh, okay. But then on the other hand, and this is from the other side of the coin, because I'm always trying to be a devil's advocate. If everyone knew how to do whatever to get that battle pack, it could affect the whole team dynamic of just play and hope for the best. And I think that's what this Battlefield really is trying to focus on is the team play. Because I'll be honest, I hate it when I get in a squad and nobody's a medic and everybody's a sniper and they're all sitting at the spawn. And
everyone's a sniper, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not even joking. I made a post about it on Twitter. I have a server on PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. A couple days, I'm just gonna set it no scouts. No scouts. No scouts, no vehicles. Conquest giant. Let's just all run at
Right.
each other.
Bayonet charges.
Oh, dude. I missed the repair torch from Battlefield 4. Come back tomorrow for repair torches only.
All right. Uh, well, so I know you can't say much about future DLCs. So I'm just gonna avoid that question. But
Well, we can say this. We've announced the 3 names of the next DLCs. In the name of the Tsar, Turning Tides, and Apocalypse. And in the name of the Tsar, if you notice the spelling, TSAR, obviously, that is the Russian ruler. So we're very excited about the Russian expansion. You know, the Russian front was really huge in World War One. And so, but honestly, I'll be 100% brutal. I have no idea what's in it at this time. I'm excited. I'm excited for the content. I'm excited to see what's coming out. Just as the community is, I'm excited because, I love this game. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to play with friends.
well, that's good. What do you guys? Go ahead. If y'all got anything, I feel like I've talked over you.
No, you're good, man. Everything's good. I was just I was going to tell you we were talking about Frontline. I had what was it? 110 minutes on my live stream of one match last night.
Oh, dude.
On Fort DeVoe, and
Wow.
we were pressed on our MCOMs, and we ended up coming back and winning that. And that was probably the most epic round I've ever had in a game. It was unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable. I couldn't even believe we won, but I was just like, wow. Hardline or Frontline. I say Hardline. Frontline is I think is innovative. It's out of the box compared to what we're used to. It's a great way to take 2 familiar modes of Battlefield and combine them together to make a new experience. And it really does kind of change the focus of the gameplay, because you got 32 people fighting for one little spot on the field, and it truly reminds me of how battle should be. Kind of like Operations. Operations kind of the same way, but it's even more focused than that, which I like. I really like it. And being honest, at first I was kind of hesitant on the. I was like, I don't know about the timer thing. I don't like the fact that we're running these long matches. But the more and more I've done them, the more and more I'm kind of like, maybe we should just leave it broke. So,
I'm on board with you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jeff, I'm just playing one match, babe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Look at the end of round screen. It just happened. It was one match. You have like 200,000 points. I know. I was really good that match. Not really. I was at the bottom of the leaderboard. Everyone else has 1 million, but it's really fun.
It's good for those squad XP boosts.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Except you burned one in one match.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. But I mean,
I think there was a guy on my squad that happened to. He activated it and it expired while we were still in the same match.
Hey, Jeff, there's a question from Deity in chat. So can you talk about the Game Changer versus Influencer program and the difference between those?
Sure. I can talk about our influencer program a bit. So, as you know, EA has an influencer program where we work with members of our community, creators, streamers, people who have a really good bead on what's going on in Battlefield, people who participate in the CTE, and who really give good feedback to the devs, things like that. And that's the overall program. Now within that program, we have, our Game Changer program, which is, these are guys, and we're constantly evolving. We're working on new things, and we've got more stuff to show coming up. But right now within Battlefield, within the Game Changer program, these are guys who have actually sat down with the devs, who've gone in, whether we had a capture session in Stockholm, and then Then they had a feedback session within those 3 days or whatever, and sat down with Lars Gustafsson, Nils, and all of those guys and given feedback on new content, pre-launch, things like that. And we're always looking to expand that roster. We're looking to expand our influencer roster because I'll be honest, as a gamer, I don't want to be marketed to ever.
Right.
If someone I like or someone I know is playing this game, I'll ask them before I go watch a commercial, before I'll go look at a Twitter account by that company. I do like, because I work in social media, I do like to read their tweets to see if they're genuine or if it's just canned responses and things like that. Wendy's is one of my favorite right now because they're so fire.
Yeah.
But
Sure, that their Twitter account themselves has increased their sales.
Dude, seriously, and I used to not like Wendy's burgers, but something changed about the taste after that Twitter account.
Fresh,
it's
never
like,
frozen.
man, this tweet tastes really good.
Delicious. But we are looking at expanding our programs and adding more people, and it's. I'll be honest, it's not always about reach, man. A lot of people think, oh, it's because he's got 300,000 followers on YouTube. Not really. I mean, let's be honest. Look at
me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just about to
have
say.
any followers.
Right. I was going to say Lono had made a lot of suggestions that made it into Hardline. I mean, that's just the truth of it.
Yeah. And then you look at cats like who are creators, but maybe they don't have a huge reach. And one of the greatest things about this program is it has enabled us to highlight some players, not over others, just help them, get more recognition and stuff like that. Some of our game changers have actually become employees. Beardu,
right?
Drunksy, Floppy Ragdoll. They started off as fans and then we worked with them in our programs, and now they're employees. All three of them actually work at DICE now.
Yeah, I met two of them on one of those like feedback sessions. Just them being normal YouTubers, players, or whatever. Meet them, and then later on, months later, they have a job there, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely, it's insane. It's insane.
Amazing.
And there's a question. Define creators. Creators. These are people that, let's be honest. Right now, a lot of the creating channels, Twitch, YouTube, things like that, they're getting saturated. It's hard to get. It's a ton of little fish in a big ass sea, with a ton of big fish in there as well. Let's be honest. So it's hard right now. I've noticed for new starts to really get noticed. But that's part of my job, is to go out and look and say, oh, look, 76 people are twitching Battlefield 1 today. They shall not pass. And I should go watching the streams. Oh, dude, this guy really knows how to engage with his audience. This guy really knows how to play the game. Because you don't have to be a competitive, badass, #1 pro in the world if you're good, or your content's fun, or it's engaging, or it highlights cool things, or you're really engaging with your audience, and you're not. I'll be honest, you're not at risk, because there's that moment when you start building relationships with people that you have to make sure that they understand where you're going, and you want to align with them. You don't want anybody to change who they are. Like for example, Westy, Jack Frags. They're Westy and Jack Frags. We work with them, but they're still Westy and Jack Frags. And then you have like the Battlefield stream team. All those guys, they're all themselves when they stream on the Battlefield Twitch. They're not allowed to do things that they do on their normal streams, like shots, things like that, because it is a corporate Twitch.
Right.
But I don't want them to change who they are. I want them to be that, because that's what made me want to watch them, and I want our gamers, I want our community to watch them. But creators, Dakota, basically are. Oh, look, Pro Lasco's in the chat. Hey, Pro, that's one of our stream team members. One of our good friends from the EU. Also competitive gamer, really cool guy, really amazing in planes. He's really good overall. I don't want to play against him,
Give me some
but
tips then. I need more tips for planes.
Right.
I
Need
like
some
him, but then
controller
I
setups.
took some
Keyboard
time
mouse
off
setup.
there, and now everybody's an ace. I'm just debris.
um, creators are people who do things like screenshots, cinematics, such as Two Scotsmen or Hoodoo Operator. People who make amazing, gorgeous videos or stream. And then we have, our VIP community members. These are people who are dedicated to the community and come in and post and talk about it, or who promote the game really positively, like Don't Revive Me, Bro, Humans versus Zombies, Dice versus Community. These are
Forget gloves
the
for tags.
Gloves for Tags. I wish
Gotta-
they'd come.
Got to give them a shout out.
We're
Gloves for
trying to
tag.
work, Jeff. We're honestly behind the scenes.
Come
We're
on,
trying to
Doug.
do something. We just need once passworded servers come out. That's kind of what we're waiting on. So,
Totally understand.
and gloves or tags, I think, may be coming back.
Ooh, let me know. I will definitely.
That
I will
was,
definitely
that
be a
was always
stabby.
fun. It was always fun.
Nice.
I had never been chased so badly in Battlefield until I was a guest stabby. It was just like total fucking people would run through everything. You'd have 20 people behind you trying to watch your back.
It was just
Zero shits given. I'm going for your tags.
Right.
Yep.
64-man YOLO. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, exactly what it was. Talking about with the community things you have, like the Dice versus community guy saying, so how would engaging with the community on a daily benefit me in my pursuit to being a Dice employee? I'd love to really get involved with community engagements.
All right, so I'll be honest. How would engaging with the community on the daily benefit me in my pursuit to being a Dice employee? Well, if you don't know what your community is saying, if you don't know what they're thinking, if you don't foster communication, if you don't put yourself on the line for the community, I'll be honest, I don't want to be internet famous. This is my job. It is my
Too
passion.
late.
And
Too
I'm
late.
very excited about it, but I'm not doing this to be an internet person or whatever. There are community managers that I've seen throughout the industry that 60,000 followers, and that's one. I'm not saying that they're chasing that. Maybe they've got some cool stuff to talk about. They're awesome people. I follow them. They're great. But my goal is just working with the community and listening and talking and helping the community and not like trying to put the community first whenever I can, whenever it's humanly, physically feasible. I work for the community. I work for EA and support DICE, but I work for the community. I'm the community steward. I'm the community concierge. I want to make sure that they understand what's going on as much as I can, be as transparent as I possibly can. And when I can't, I want to be transparent about why I can't. Because we got some stuff coming, but I can't talk about it right now because we don't want to screw it up. And we don't want you guys to.
We won't tell anybody.
We don't want to give you partial information because when we roll it out, we want to give you all of the information, and it's exciting. And I mean, that's one thing, Dakota. It's you wanna be there for the community, be there for the community, not to use the community. And I'm not saying you are or anything, but you don't want to use the community as your platform for yourself. You be there for the community. Fun.
What you're describing is more leadership and less self.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if you were gonna pin it down to that, I mean, I would agree with you. I see the guys who are in it for themselves. Hey, I know so and so, and I mean, I think everybody in chat and even in this call, you see these guys who will toss a name out of who they know and think that they're benefiting someone. It's like that's not how you do it.
Mm-mm.
Name dropping gets you nowhere.
Name dropping just gets. Oh, you know what? All right.
Right.
That's it. Okay. Cool story, bro.
Right.
Sunglasses, yeah.
Oh, he just did the salt. He just did the salt. Uh, well, with you, like I guess the be a tangent with the whole listening to the community and things the community's talking about. One thing that I know that came with that latest patch and has been pretty controversial is the new ammo 2.0. Um, so having something like that being new and hitting the game like it does after launch and something else we're wanting to work on, how does something like that impact you? How do you deal with that?
Well,
If that was an actual question there.
that was a question. That was a good one. That was a it's hello Dune Wallaby. That was a good question. How do I deal with the feedback or the reaction to something like Ammo 2.0? Well, first off, um, I understand that our gamers are passionate, and I I try to always look at it through that lens. Sometimes we see some negativity, some offensive things on the forums or within Twitter, things like that. And I try to always remember that it's coming from a place of goodness within their hearts, deep in their hearts, way deep down. But they're just passionate and they love the game, and they want what's best for the game. And I think, with that situation, I have to look for it's looking for the silver lining within a storm cloud. You're always going to find it if you look for it. If you look for negativity in the world, it's easy. You just open your eyes. But if you start looking for the good, you look for those positive options. A work in progress, as Pun mentioned. If you look at it as something that we can grow on, but man, we need feedback, and it doesn't need to be ragey rants. It needs to be, hey, this is my concern. This is how I feel. This is what you guys are proposing. I really want to give you my opinion, and we'll take it. We do. We want to take it. I work on reports for the team, and I talk about trending issues, biggest issues, biggest bugs, things like that. And I try to make sure that I get as much as I possibly can. To be fair, there's a wealth of information on the forums that we haven't tapped into all the time. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun when we have these situations where we change things or we're going to do something and maybe it's going to have a little weird reaction from the community. Maybe it's going to have a bad one. I don't know. But it's fun to get those interactions because when I get some really solid information and I can share it with the devs, they eat that shit up. They love it because this is the voice of the community. And they need to know that because all they want is to make the best Battlefield game ever. All they want is to make the best first-person shooter game ever. And if all you hear is good things, oh, I love this game, it's super great. It doesn't make you improve. You stagnate, and then you stop listening to the community because that's what you think they're all saying. Oh, we love it. But when you really take to heart the negative, the constructive feedback, and you start building on that, that's when the community embraces you even tighter because they know that you care. And I think DICE is one of those dev studios that really does that well, especially in this day and age when it's we want everything, we want it all, we want all the goodness all right now. And talking to the devs, they're just as passionate as the gamers that play their games. They want to do everything all the time right now. But they also understand the reality of dev cycles. They understand the reality of we literally cannot do this, or this is going to take a lot of work, but it's worth the effort. But we got to have some time. And so when people are like, "Well, why isn't this happening yet? Why isn't this happening yet?" And I'm not complaining about anybody. I appreciate it's great to have that question. It's because when it does happen, they want it to be so well done, or at least so seamless that you forgot that it wasn't there in the first place, or it doesn't even seem like it doesn't seem like a little minor addition and an update. This is a huge deal. This is awesome, and I know talking with the devs, that's how a lot of them feel.
In regards to that, one thing that I really appreciated seeing coming back, it was disappointing to not see it there at launch, but like from playing the front lines and stuff, seeing the ribbons added, that was just something that I think should have been there. I understand the logistics that partly, that go into that, but I hated that it wasn't there. But it's like, welcome back. So I'm playing. It's like, you got 7 assault rifle kills. Oh, ribbon. Not everyone cares about shit like that, but for me, I love that. Shows that I'm doing something's progression. To have the new assignments with the DLC was really nice. To have some, and none of them were like crazy. You don't have to get like 6,000 kills with something to. So they all seem. He's gonna break out the hawk.
Oh no! My head's just getting hot. I'm getting the hot head.
So it's nice to see stuff like that. Is there anything else that you can talk about that right in the pipeline that might be re-added, might come back, change? I know we talked about the ammo 2.0. If not, the secret's safe with us if you want to tell us. But if not, that's understandable as well.
Well, I mean, if one thing, and I'm gonna say it. One of the things that's really, really great is the CTE environment.
Yeah.
And they are pushing out lots of cool stuff, and you can see those CTE patch notes as they go live by the dev team. Indigoud and Tigger, Dave Serlin and Yoye Dalunde. In fact, they did one where March 20th was the most recent CTE update. And if I may, I'm going to drop it in y'all's chat in case anybody hasn't seen it. If I can post a link, let's see. I'm not allowed to post a link and I've been timed out. I'm a terrible person. I'm a sinner. But they talk about, I mean, I could talk about some of the highlights in the CTE. And now, to keep in mind, we always
have
to
a highlight from that too. So go ahead. But just this was a tangent. I shoehorned you into this.
I could tell, and I'm feeling shooed and horned. Horned,
It should be in there now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, guys, if you haven't seen it, sinner, lol. Sure. Nope, still not. Now I'm timed out for 10 minutes.
You're kicked. Banned. You're banned.
I just made you a mod.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Damn, look, promotions everywhere you go, man. And now you're a mod of the DRMB channel.
He's worked his way up.
We're gonna need you to put in at least 22 hours a week.
Yep, I am banned from Don't Revive Me Bro Twitch. Oh well.
Oh,
no worries. Just for 10 minutes. I'm not even worried about it. Thank you. Thank you. That's the link. Yeah. So
links here.
But you see, they've added some new weapons like the Hellriegel 1915 defensive, the Seb Statler 1906 sniper, the Huat automatic optical, the Martini Henry sniper, various things, various control things. Adjusting stick acceleration for just lots of cool stuff. And then there's the ammo 2.0 testing. Keep in mind, it's testing. And that's what the CT is about. And I think that's what the CT is great for. It's a live environment. I mean, usually when you get to play a live environment while it's being tested, you usually have to pay for it, and it's called early access. And you have to hope that game actually may get published. With
DayZ's still in early access.
Yeah, with CTE, it's a lot of fun. I'm totally glossing over that. With CTE, it's a lot of fun because we have the retail, the stable version of the game that everybody can play. We also have this very interactive, very live environment where people can go in and test things out but this does nothing. And I cannot stress this enough, community. It does nothing for you to play CTE if you don't post about it and talk about it. If all you're doing is testing stuff, that's great. Have a good time. We need numbers in there so we can get, algorithms. But man, give us your feedback because we want the game to be better for you. And this isn't like a beta test or this isn't a demo. You don't go to forums and give feedback on a demo mostly because you're just trying it out to play. But with betas, alphas, CTE, this is the time to make your voice heard. And it's critical that you take that opportunity and take that advantage, because if you don't and you have a crazy awesome idea that could have changed the way something went and it doesn't go that way, you lost your opportunity. And I'm not saying it won't ever happen again, but man, you have the opportunity is to literally help us make this game better. So do it. Take it.
So, letting the people in the CET play with some of the dev weapons. How's that happen?
Are there dev weapons?
Yeah, I've not played it myself, but I've heard some dev weapons were accidentally released into the CTE.
Things happen.
Yeah, so with that being said, and people having a chance to get their hands on them, is that possible that they ever make it into the normal rotation?
Generally not.
No.
No,
I mean, it's awesome that devs get their own things, but now that the player base, at least part of it, has had their hands on them, they may not want to let go.
Well, in BF3, I had dev tags for and one of the things that we had, if you had the dev tags, was a suppressed M1014 shotgun with a 12 times scope.
Jesus.
And I'd put the slug. So basically, I was a shotgun sniper. And the best
made
part
everybody
was,
hate you. Oh, dev.
all day.
That's a dev. Awesome.
I actually got kicked from some PC servers because they thought I was sniping from the spawn, but I was on No Shore Canals, and I was actually in the middle of the trailers. And I wouldn't even scope because 12 times scope is ridiculous on a shotgun. But I'd just be like, plow, plow, just, shooting people in between the trailers. But it didn't sound like that. It was like, plink, plink, plink. And they're like, whoever's sniping from the spawn, I'm going to ban you. And I was like, I'm in the trailers. And they're like, who are you? And then they saw my EA clan tag. And then I was like, they're like, oh, we got somebody from EA, everybody take his tags. So then I switched my shotgun to pellets and just sat there with my ammo crate. You're not getting my dog tags. It was fun, though. It was fun. Oh, and before anybody asks, we've mentioned it. The dev team are very much aware of the interest and desire for platoons and clan tags, but I have nothing I can talk about.
But they do know about it, and they have a big interest in it.
That sounds confirmed.
Don't say that, dude. Prank caller, I gotta go.
Hashtag leaks.
Leaks.
Yeah, the hashtag leaks.
I mean, everything that's posted on the forums, I'm honestly thinking about talking to the dev team and talking to my boss Dan about I said they're interested, Deity. Calm down. But I thought about making a more public version of the weekly report that I send out. Now, the only concern is everybody's singular issue. It's not going to always make it into the weekly report. We try to get it as robust and full as possible, and then daily I send out updates on things. But I would love to be able to say, hey, they're aware. Like, here's a checklist. This is what they're aware of. This is what they're working on. That doesn't mean it's coming. They're working on it. They're investigating it. They're seeing if it can work. They're seeing if it can't work the way you guys want it or they want it. How could it work? And if the end of the day it's not going to be possible, all right, so this isn't happening. But here's something else that they're working on, and that's something I'd like to see. I know there are other games that have a little bit more of that, and it's something that I would like to champion for the Battlefield community. It's all about transparency. You guys know that way. You guys know what we're working on, know what we have in mind. But again, we have a lot of other departments that we have to align with on that. We can't say, hey, June 30th. And I swear, anybody clips this incorrectly, I'm gonna ban you on Twitter.
June
But
30th. Clan tags and.
No, don't even say that. I don't even know.
Wait, it was a joke. Fake news, yes. Fake news. Hashtag fake news.
For the community.
Very bad.
Alternative facts. But like June 30th, they're gonna have Jeeps. That's probably. Seriously. Did they even have Jeeps? They were Model Ts in the 1900s. I don't want to drive a Model T on a battlefield with the fucking craters and shit. Excuse my language. But sorry guys, children, you're watching.
We're all fine.
But if it doesn't come, then we get a lot of flack. Then we get a lot of feedback. Then we get a lot of negativity. And I this game is doing really well within the community. It's got there's some challenges, there's some tweaks, there's some fixes that we're working on, but overall, I'd like to keep that high because we're getting some great feedback right now, and it's a lot of fun.
So we had Zach on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Number one wheelman.
Number one wheelman.
Oh, don't let Steve's hear that. Oh.
Oh, yeah, he's in chat.
He'll get salty. Yeah, he's gonna get salty.
So I'm not asking you to say yay or nay. I will just tell you this: there are a lot of people who want a hardline too. A lot of people that we're big on it. But with hardline, I kind of want to circle back. You're talking about improvements in Battlefield 1. One of the things that I liked about Hardline, like I play on 2 platforms, right? I play on PC and PS4. I liked that game got infinitely better when they split the weapons profiles. When they built the profiles specifically for console and specifically for PC. And I kind of feel the same way for Battlefield 1. When they tweaked it more, it feels like I'm playing a PC game on PS4 with a controller. Like the sensitivity and just the recoil models, it doesn't have that smooth configuration on console, to me at least, that Hardline does, and that's something I'm hoping that they can work through in CTE. Although I know PS4 doesn't have CTE, I think they'll benefit a little bit from what goes on with the console CTE on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we launched CTE, we did mention that we are investigating. I agree. Hardline was I agree. Hardline was a great game. Lots of fun, fast paced, different setting. It was interesting.
I missed that. He kind of fell off.
Yeah.
In hiding, man.
And now he's doing his own thing and playing a lot of space games, and he won't tell me the name of them, but they look really dope. Like they look really good. I look at his Facebook and I'm like, bro, what game is this? And he's like, Jeff, so how's things going? And I'm like, dude, I want to know what game you're playing. I don't want to play with you. I just want to know what it is. I want to play myself. But I think Battlefield Hardline was great. I thought it was a fun game, an interesting spin-off in the franchise. Mm-hmm. I would love, and I'm saying this as a gamer, not as an employee, I would love a sequel to Hardline. I think it would be awesome. I don't know if that's in the cards. I don't know anything about that.
Right.
But if it did happen, I think the learnings that we've gotten from a solid, stable Hardline launch, which we had, which is great. And we, by the way, we learned a lot from that launch, which gave us a good, solid Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefront launch and a solid Battlefield 1 launch. I mean, and that's the thing, we continue to learn. But I liked it. I liked what you're talking about as far as different profiles for different platforms. But when we were talking about the CTE, when we first announced it for Battlefield 1, it is something we're looking at to come onto other platforms. We don't have any details we can share right now, but it is something that we're looking at, and because at the end of the day, what you experience on PC isn't the same thing that you experience on Xbox One, isn't the same thing that you experience on PS4.
Correct.
As someone who plays on all 3 platforms, I can tell you the game feels different on each platform. It's the same game, and that's without a doubt. But it feels different on PS4 over Xbox One over PC. And then of course you don't have the graphics that you can get on PC on the consoles yet. Scorpio coming.
Yeah, so Pro Lasco, I see your comment about it's the opposite, playing a console game on PC on some parts. I think what I was getting at is how the profiles were built versus how the recoil models are built for each platform. That was one thing specifically, like in the hardline builds, that they talked about having to tweak for each platform because it needed to be done. It wasn't like what Jeff's talking about. It wasn't being handled the same on each platform. It felt completely different.
And I think the ultimate goal with the developers is that the game should feel the same, relatively speaking, across all the platforms. It shouldn't have a different experience. So I think that, now Zach pointed that out, that's what their goal was with splitting the profiles up.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I've seen the comments too, you know, and Lano, I think you were one of the ones that said, you know, when you could take the ammo and the health from people, that was one of the things, carrying that forward, that was something that I think people were looking forward to. I really
like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love being able to walk up behind somebody and be like, thank you, get my goodies.
Yeah, I'm not on the corner begging for money. Right? Please throw ammo.
Yeah.
Hardline had one of my most memorable moments. Just the fact I've been gaming literally since I was like 2 years old, holding an Atari controller, you know, playing like pole position and things of that nature. But I got to ask Thad and Zach, like, man, the one thing I miss about that other shooter game that I used to play way back in the day was the throwing knives. I love the throwing knives. Thad's like, you know what? I'll put that in for you. Just give me a little while. I can do that myself. It's like, yeah, okay. That sounds awesome, but that ain't going to happen. He put in throwing knives. I was like, holy shit. You know, something I asked for. I was literally face-to-face with the developer and said, hey, I'd like to have this added. Like, okay, I'll do that for you. Boom, throwing knives were added. That's one thing about gaming I'll never forget. I mean, going out there, hang out with the devs and being able to do feedback sessions and stuff, all that is fantastic. But just to be able to suggest something and see it literally put into the game, I'll never forget that, you know. So I miss old Thad. I wish him well. Hope he's doing well. We have went over just a few, like 47 minutes.
I was just noticing that. I was
we're just rolling, man.
Wow.
So, you know, just a little over. Don't want to take up too much of your day. We know you're busy. This is probably like an off day for you, kind of thing. Hopefully, is there anything else that you want to talk about, to mention, to plug? Anything else? You know, here's your platform. Tell us. More Joker laughs, more motorcycles, tattoos, anything you got for us, give it to us.
Just two things. I'll answer Deity's question. What is my most favorite game ever? Any game? That's really hard because I play a lot of games. I play almost every game. I play almost every platform. Well, I play every platform except for Switch, because they don't have that digital library yet. But once they do, man, Switch on the plane. But and you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh because if you've ever seen my Twitter, my favorite game, other than the Battlefield franchise, outside of that, is Skate 3.
Yes.
It's, to me, it was one of the, like, I played all the Tony Hawks except for
Zach just woke up.
He's like,
want to say Skate?
My people need me. But I played all the Tony Hawks. I played Skate or Die, Skate or Die 2, all the skateboarding games. I like to skate. It was the most realistic to me as far as, you know, you're not pushing a button to jump. You're not pushing a button that's going to automatically grind. You're actually having to do a little bit of stuff. And Skate 3, you know, you had the creator option where you can make videos and you create your own skate parks and you can make skateboard decks and then share them with people. To me, it was so amazing and so much fun. And I'm super excited that that Xbox has it on backwards compatible right now, so you can play Skate 3 on Xbox One. Super, super cool. And then the other thing is the stream team. You know, I'm always looking for more people to join. I'm looking for talent. You don't have to be the biggest, baddest streamer in the world, but if you're ever interested, hit me up on Twitter. Send me some links to your Twitch, your YouTube, or whatever. And let's talk about it, man. It's a lot of fun. I think the team that we have right now is really solid. Has a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of opportunities. You know, they do giveaways and things. I throw codes at them so they can do giveaways on the channel. And it's not just giveaways on our channel; it's giveaways on their channel because I want them to grow. It's a synergistic partnership, and I try to make sure it's worth their while because, you know, when you're on your own stream, you're making your money, but when you're on the Battlefield stream, you're playing for the community, and so I don't want to take too much time away from your stream. But if you're interested or anything, and you're not afraid of a little critique, if you share some video on demands or stuff like that, and you actually want feedback, or know how to get more involved with the community, any of that, you're more than welcome to hit me up on Twitter. I will tell you this though, and this is the last thing I'll say about contacting me. If your first and I tweeted this the other day, if your first interaction with me on Twitter is insulting, rude, abusive, I will respond with memes until you learn how to talk like an adult. It's just it. I don't got time. I don't got time for abusive Twitters and tweeters and hatred. Life's too beautiful and too short and too awesome. Dude, I want to play Battleground. I do. I agree, Prolasco.
I 100%
It looks dope as shit.
I 100% have no idea how memes and Twitter work.
Oh
well, I do animated GIFs.
I don't even know how that works. Like, I don't post memes and stuff on Twitter.
It's a GIF. It's a GIF like peanut butter.
How many have you responded with the salt meme? I saw Dan's face get put on the salt meme. You need to get you on the salt meme. So that'd just be your reply. You just reply with, like, there.
Crying Jordan. Be the crying Jeff meme.
That's Bo's staple. The crying
if you give me a
Jordan
good photo, Jeff, I can definitely hook you up with a crying Jeff meme to send out.
That would be awesome. But yeah, no, and honestly, I want to thank you guys, DRMB. You guys, I used to play on y'all's server back in the day, and then when we started, you know, getting to know each other, it's been really cool, and I appreciate y'all's passion, y'all's excitement, and I appreciate you inviting me on here to talk, and I'd love to do it again anytime.
Oh yeah, we love
An
having
honor.
you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's always good having you on, Jeff.
You see it? I still.
Jesus.
Yeah, cap it, bro. Still got your autograph. Shit. You're DRMB famous.
Yes, sir.
DRMB famous.
Don't call your bank over it or nothing. It's not gonna pay any bills.
Yeah, don't quit your day job.
Yeah, everyone's been waiting. There, you got it. Our 1 hour podcast is now officially at 1 hour and 53 minutes. Right on time. We always stick to schedule. We don't want to take up too much of your time. We love having you, Jeff. You're always welcome back. Hopefully one day we can get you and Dan out of the air and stream, do a podcast together, which would be dope.
It'll be a lot easier come April because they'll be together.
Might actually just break out some booze for that one. I don't drink much, but you know that makes me want to take a shot right now just thinking about it.
We're thinking about doing something interesting once I move to LA, so we'll definitely keep you in the loop.
Ooh.
All right, well, you got to like periscope us on your bar trips or something, you know.
Well, you know, we've got that stream studio at the office, so
Yes.
we're thinking about doing our own kind of little side project, bullets and shots, and talking about whiskey and video games and motorcycles.
Oh, that'd be
Real
awesome.
quick, like,
And
so that
guitars
was
too, because he loves playing guitar.
I'm a big fan of whiskey.
during those feedback sessions when you guys are like rolling the big bucket of beer. I was like, what? Oh, it's the greatest place on earth.
Telling you.
Dude,
It is. It is.
We
It
want
really is.
to bring back.
It's
Get
adult
drunk.
Disneyland.
Get shit faced. We have you like 6 different brands of beer. Go for it. Go ham. Then the little taco truck guy that pulled in outside. He was awesome. Anyway, guys, anything you guys want to add before we go?
Not from me.
I just wanted to just say thanks for coming on, Jeff. We do always appreciate it, and I know one thing, people wanted to hear your Joker impersonation because that is your mantra.
You can't hold that back though. That just comes out on its own.
It just
You
comes
can't
out,
stop
yeah.
it.
Well, it's been a great time being with you, fine gentlemen, and I love the Battlefield community.
Perfect.
Nice.
Hope you guys got clips of that. Update now.
Clip.
Jeff, good luck on your move, man. Hope you
Yeah, absolutely.
enjoy LA.
I'm
Pics of the
excited.
new bike. Picture didn't happen. Pics of the apartment. You know, whatever. Keep us updated on life, man. You're always
Absolutely.
positive. Everything. You know, I know you have your rough days, but you sure as hell don't show it. So,
Because I get to play video games, man. I get to play video games, talk about video games, and talk with you fine folks.
Yep.
Life is good.
thank you, brother. We'll see you on the other side once again. Till next
care,
time.
Thanks,
everybody.
Jeff.
All
Thanks
right,
everybody
be
for coming
good,
out.
guys.
Shit,
Thanks, guys.
want memes and all that shit for later. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good day. Peace.